Good morning everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Please do smash the notification bell as well, and also like the video for me. Cheers. I appreciate all your nice comments, so just leave any comment that you can. That's really good for the algorithm as well, please. And obviously head over to our Telegram channel over there. The link's in the description, the video below. There's some great trades going off over there and great technical analysis, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to dive into Bitcoin here on the 4-hourly chart. Okay, so what we're looking at here for Bitcoin is, you know, we did say that we would potentially break down and come down to the 20 EMA and have a retest of the EMA, and you've seen that has happened now. Okay, so we've had that retest of the 20 EMA, and the thing is, we're painting this really big bullish candle now. Okay, you can see that we formed that bullish candle yesterday, but it got sold off. Basically the buying pressure stepped in and we formed that shooting star, but we got the bounce off the 20 EMA on the 4-hourly, which is really positive for Bitcoin. But what I want to show you, just to be aware of now, okay, that we're potentially looking at is a head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly time frame, because what we've got here, we've got our diamond support just there. Okay, so that's called a diamond support, and you can see that as we're going up, we're falling back on it as support before we move up. But what we may be forming here is a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, okay, on the 4-hourly, well, the 2-hourly time frame. Let's jump in on the 2-hourly, guys, and you'll get a better view of what we mean. So on the 2-hourly, okay, we painted this bullish cross here, which is great, and we pumped up. But you see from this pump here, this inverse head and shoulders here, we pumped up, and then we fell back down onto this diamond support line. Okay, so this support line is really important, okay, because if we was to fall through that, then you're probably potentially looking at a retest of this parabolic support line on the daily time frame there. Okay, and you can see in this move we've not touched it for a while. Okay, so we've not touched it since down there, since that correction at 43k, which is a long time ago now. So you do tend to see a retouch of this in a parabolic move. Okay, so we may be looking at a retest, and one of the telltale signs that you need to keep an eye out for now, guys. Okay, still super bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, still super bullish, but we may be looking at a retest of that line, and I'll show you exactly what I mean right now. Because on the 2-hour, we've shot up there. Okay, we formed a left shoulder, a potential head, and now if we don't break this high here, which currently sits at, okay, I'll mark that for you guys so you can see what we need to break. We need to break that 60k today, or with this pump that's coming, because basically what we could form there is the right shoulder. Okay, so you're forming a head and shoulders, and you know head and shoulders, what we'll do, we'll probably, if we get rejected at that line, okay, that means that this right shoulder is validated until we break that line, because what it is, you're not breaking that previous high, so you're running out of steam. You go up, you make another high, and then you fail to make another high. It's called a head and shoulders pattern. Basically, the trend is running out of steam. It doesn't mean we're going to oblivion or we're entering a bear market. It's just a minor correction, okay? So it's definitely something that you do need to pay attention to in Bitcoin, because what we could see ourselves pushing up, get rejected there, come back down and hog this line for a bit. So when we hog this line, if we was to break it, we could hog this line and bounce back up and take out that high, okay, which would invalidate the head and shoulders. It's just a pattern that you do need to be aware of. We may go up, get rejected at that level, push back down, and then hug this line before we actually break it. But when we do break it, you measure the length of which we break it would be the neckline to the support line, which is this diamond support line here, okay, from the previous top, the all-time high down. You can see we fell back on it as support. So what you do, wherever you break out, you would put your marker to see where we break out. So say potentially we went up today and got rolled over and come back down and we had the retest. You could be looking at a retest today, a correction, coming back down, breaking this support line, and then moving down to touch this parabolic support line. So that is a potential move that's on the cards for Bitcoin. Just bring it to your awareness, okay? So if you thought that Bitcoin was going to go short from here, yeah, so if you was to go short here, you did believe that this was going to play out, you could wait, okay, and look for the rejection, and if you've seen it coming down quite extensively, then you could go short. But if you was confident this was going to play out, you could go short here, and you will be looking at 8% short on Bitcoin to come down and retest this parabolic trend line. You know, the fact that we have got this head and shoulders forming just like this, and then the breakout is sort of in alignment with this retest of the parabolic line, it looks like it's potentially on the cards. Nothing set in stone, okay? It's not financial advice, potentially on the cards here, a head and shoulders retest of the daily support line on the parabolic curve there. Failing that, what we do need to see is take out this high, and I would imagine if we did take out this high here, then we would march on. Okay, so it's just something to keep an eye on in the Bitcoin chart, guys. So that's it for Bitcoin, really, guys. We'll just take a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So you can see it's literally crunch time for Bitcoin and the alts, really, because obviously what plays out here, you're either going to see an alt season or you're going to see a mega Bitcoin pump. Okay, so this is a really important chart to keep an eye on. You see we've formed this bearish cross here, which is really bearish. We had that bullish cross there, which is really bullish. Obviously pushed us up to the top of this symmetrical triangle here that has been caught in a downtrend, and we got rejected on the resistance line there. We come back down, we bounced off this support line of a symmetrical triangle. So this triangle is actually playing out, and you can see it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and we do say that once we get towards the apex, we do see a breakout. You can see on the bottom here we've formed a bullish cross on the MACD, which is bullish. The histogram's turned bullish. We bottomed out there on the RSI, so we was completely overbought. So we've pushed on up, and we are sitting mid-level, and we do look like we're curling. So perhaps there's more upside, and we may see Bitcoin take out that high and invalidate that head and shoulders pattern and push on and break its previous high. So a Bitcoin pump could potentially be on the cards. Failing that, we could see that rejection and that head and shoulders validated and a push down again to this level here, that correction of the trend line for Bitcoin before we start to move again towards this apex. So it's really critical times, guys. We're like literally days away from a potential breakout and a potential decision. You're talking towards the end of March there, okay? So if we was to get really down here, really tight into there, you know, towards the end of March, April, we would be expecting a decision here on what's happening with Bitcoin, you know, and where the pattern lays. Because once you break out from a symmetrical triangle, 9 times out of 10, you break out, you back test it as a support then, wherever it is. Or in this case, if we was to break down, we would back test it as resistance and then keep moving on, okay? Because it's just a continuation trend, guys, okay, as we say. And you can see that in this whole trend is sort of a downtrend for Bitcoin. It's losing dominance, so to speak. So we're being pushed down and it's forming levels of resistance moving forward. So that's Bitcoin dominance. Not much to say other than keep an eye on these levels here. And obviously, you know, whatever plays out is going to lead to the Bitcoin pump or the alt season pump, guys. It may be a little bit early in the season in this particular bull cycle. One thing I do want to specify, it may be a little bit early for the alt season. And there's another indicator as well that you need to pay attention to. It's called the pi cycle chart. And on that, if you form a bearish cross on that particular pi cycle chart, every single bull market that's ever been before for Bitcoin has resulted in a correction, the end of the bull market, so to speak. Right at this moment, those lines are touching. If you want to check that out, guys, those lines are touching, okay? So if Bitcoin was to correct now, lose this dominance, we would see that big alt season, but then the bull cycle would be over, in my opinion. So again, you know, what we're potentially looking at is a break to the upside here. Bitcoin move on, make that 79k that's our target in the channel there. Then alt seasons not necessarily capitulate, but a lot of money flows into the Bitcoin from the alts, so you'll see them go sideways or down. There won't be much movement in the alts. Then once Bitcoin tops out there and then starts to roll over again, that's when we potentially see the alt season after the next upcycle for Bitcoin. So it's just something to keep an eye on. We're just going to jump into the Ethereum chart right now, guys. So looking at Ethereum then, you know, we were almost painting this head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly time frame here. And that would coincide with Bitcoin's push to the all-time high, okay? So if Ethereum was to fail to make a high here, a higher than that, then we would see it roll over and form this head and shoulders pattern. And we are targeting a 1559 Ethereum token valuation there, guys, okay? So what we do need to see is a pump above these EMAs. You can see we are above the EMAs. We bounced off this neckline yesterday, okay? Which is good because we didn't lose it. Because we would have lost it, that head and shoulders would have been validated, we would have seen that leg down. So what we've done here, we've bounced off the neckline there as support. You can see that. So at the moment, this neckline is really solid support. We lose that, head and shoulders pattern validated, and we're looking at a potential for that price there for Ethereum. So what you do, you need to keep an eye on this chart on the 4-hourly time frame, guys. Draw your neckline like that. Then you've got your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder. So what we do need to see here now, we've got this back test of the EMA, which is really good, okay, and we do need to march on now and take out this high here of 1945, because that will invalidate this head and shoulders and see us pushing onto those bigger highs there and possibly taking out the all-time high. So again, it's really crunch time for Ethereum. What I'm going to do is jump onto the Ethereum versus Bitcoin now, guys, okay? So Ethereum versus Bitcoin, you can see we are hitting this level, this support now. It was acting as support, but we're now coming up against it as resistance. So at the moment, Ethereum versus Bitcoin doesn't look too healthy, okay? We are caught in a downtrend. We are being repressed by these EMAs. We formed a bearish cross there. It's pushing us down, pushing us down. We are hitting this low level support line as well. We've had a couple of touches and bouncing off it. We could break down, okay? Just so you're aware, we could actually break down, which would lead to that head and shoulders pattern, and potentially Bitcoin pushing up to invalidate its head and shoulders pattern. So again, it's crucial time, guys, okay? Crucial time for Ethereum, because whatever happens with Ethereum, it's basically the king of the alts, okay? So you do need to keep an eye on Ethereum, and that's why we do cover it every day. You can see here on the Instagram on the MACD here, we are just starting to turn bullish, okay? So you've got the lines under the histogram, okay? So if you look at there, you can, so under the histogram, when you turn bullish, you can see the power it gives you. So look, we had that cross there, golden cross there, or the bullish cross, and then we were roughly around there and we got that pump to the upside. So potentially it looks like we're just starting to form another bullish cross. The RSI is in a low level, which is pretty good for a reversal, so we're not completely oversold, but we are quite low. And when we're low like that, you do see it reverse, okay? It sort of bounces off the bottom. So we potentially could be in for a turn there and then break through this resistance line, okay, through the EMAs, back test them and move on. So hopefully that occurs, but you know, I'm just bringing everything to your attention, guys, so you can keep an eye on it. So that's Ethereum versus BTC, okay? So I'm going to jump into the Cardano chart right now. So with Cardano, guys, you know, yesterday we had this mega pump up here, okay? Now this is why you have to get into the group, because just here I said in the group, I posted in the group that you need to short it, because this is a case of buy the hype and sell the news. And if you refer to yesterday's video, I did say we would hit a level of resistance up here at the top, okay? And we failing to get through it, we would look for a retest of the EMAs, okay? And that's exactly what happened, guys, okay? I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but in the group there, I posted go short, okay? And I did post that we would come down to these levels. I was a little bit shy of the EMA, to be fair. I did post a Fibonacci level, a Fibonacci retracement, but we actually fell further, and we got the nice bounce off the EMA here, which is really good. And at this position yesterday as well, I did say in the group, I posted a trade, because I'm always posting trades in the Instagram, in the Telegram group, guys. That's why you do need to get in there. There's a lot of trades that go in there, obviously, because I can't make videos in real time, so we're real time trading in there. So basically we said that it was on the way up, and I could see that it was weakening out up here, okay? And obviously everyone was going on about some news for Coinbase, but I wasn't too aware of what it actually was. But at 4 o'clock or something yesterday, something didn't happen, and that's why we got this sell-off. Because what happens is here, hype, news, okay? So it's a case of buy the hype and sell the news, and this is a prime example of that. But when we were looking to top out, I said go short, and we did. We came down and it was something like a 16% trade short. But what I'm looking at now is a nice bounce. This EMA test on the 4-hourly time frame, a 55 EMA test, is refueled the rocket ships for us to push up and potentially have another go at that high. And what I want to bring to your attention as well, this was discovered by the late adopter, a great guy, brilliant technical analyst. Definitely do check him out. I've mentioned him before in the channel, but he's a really great guy, okay? He knows his stuff. Do check him out. So basically he's noted a long trend line with Cardano. Yeah, so basically a late adopter, he discovered this support line that Cardano has been trading on for a very long time now. So it's basically been trading up on this support line. It broke out, back tested this support line there, okay guys? It's a 4-hourly time frame. Formed the bullish cross down here, went on, got away from the support line, the parabolic support line, come back down, back test it there, fell through, but it's come back through, and now it's bounced off the support line. So that is courtesy of the late adopter there. What we do need to check now, as Cardano keeps creeping up, is that we do bounce off this support line, okay, and you can see that we have bounced there. We've moved up, broke through the EMAs, failed to get through them, fell through them and got back through, okay. So in a bull trend, we do tend to stay above this line, okay. When we do break below that line, that's when you want to be worried. That's when we're potentially entering the bear market. So you can see we're way down here, broke up, back tested the support line here, okay, had a couple of retests there just to confirm the uptrend there. So this is a very important line now, as discovered by the late adopter, that we do need to keep an eye on the 4-hourly time frame. So we'll leave this line in, and what you'll see potentially is Cardano creeping up, okay, as it does, and just basically hugging the line and back testing it as it creeps to new all-time highs. And you know that we have our target all the way up there, guys, okay, at $4 plus potentially in the future for Cardano. So this is a very interesting line now to keep in the charts for Cardano, and we will keep an eye on it. You can see we did bounce off it on the 4-hourly time frame here, so we'll zoom in. So on the 4-hourly, we had that major correction yesterday. We bounced off the 55 EMA on the 4-hour, look, right on the money, and also where the support line lies. So what we need to do now is just keep monitoring this support line. If it falls below, it's not necessarily entering a bear market, but it is potentially the start of a bear market. And if it was to fall any lower and lower and lower, then you would be looking at a potential bear market in a reversal for Cardano. So this is a great line to keep an eye on, guys, okay? So yeah, that's Cardano at the moment. Where potentially could we be going then? So we've gone up the top there. We got rejected off the previous all-time high, and we came back down, but we bounced off the EMAs, which is showing strong, really strong support. We've formed a bullish cross on the 4-hourly there, guys, which again is really good, really strong. So the trend is your friend, okay, and you can see that with Cardano it's super strong. So what we'll do, we'll bring out the fib levels here. You know that was the bottom there, and we went up there, and that was the top. We had our impulsive wave, we had a corrective wave. You can see it literally bounced off to 0.236. That's how strong it was. The next impulsive wave, as you can see, shot up off the bottom, and it almost got up there. It just broke through our previous impulsive wave. That's how strong it was. So then we've had the corrective wave, and as you can see now, we're hugging the 0.786. We actually fell out of the Fibonacci retracement there, but the 55 EMA saved our ass, okay, and it's pushing us up. We're now above the 20 EMA. We're having a nice bounce and a nice retest, so that is really positive for Cardano. So what we're looking at potentially is a very similar move, okay, so you could see us push on now up to this level at 143 for Cardano off this corrective wave just there, okay, off this corrective wave bottom just there. The next impulsive wave could see us push up to that level there, and then we could fall back again to another Fibonacci retracement. So right now we may be forming this new impulsive wave, okay, pushing on up to 143, providing, you know, that's where logically we'd see a top in this next impulsive wave, and then a correction back down possibly to the 0.618 there, the golden ratio, before we refuel the rocket boosters, catch up with the EMAs again, and move on with another impulsive wave. And the next impulsive wave would potentially be that impulsive wave there, which could see us break the all-time high for Cardano, pushing us on to $1.53. Okay, so that's a potential play for Cardano, providing Bitcoin behaves, providing, you know, it's all about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin behaves, everything else behaves, you know, but we are looking potentially at a bit of downturn for Bitcoin, so that could equally drag Cardano and the rest of the alts down with it. But again, if we was to break down, guys, then certainly look at retest of this 55 EMA, and you may see us get trapped between the 55 EMA and the 20 EMA. But as long as we hug this line, okay, we could lose this line, okay, but we could all, you'd be looking for a retest and then a breakthrough, just like we had here. We lost the line, but we come back through. Okay, so that's Cardano. It's just something to keep an eye on in the charts. Hopefully this impulsive and corrective waves, this plays out, and we would be looking at that $1.53 per Cardano over the next few days, guys. So I'll be back later with another video, guys, in the second update on the 3 dogs. So yeah, have a good day, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.